Well, they say there's a car for everyone. Some like their cars fast, some like them fuel efficient, some like them spacious, and some like them with a lot of gadgetry. But actually, I think when we go out to buy a car, we want a mix of it all. This is exactly what Honda has understood, worked on this mindset, and they have come out with the Honda Mobilio. Honda's first MPV offering in the country. There's a lot of anticipation around this car. People have been waiting. We saw the first look during the Auto Expo, and since then, this car has been in news for various reasons. Today, we are out to drive it. This is a 1.5 diesel, and we'll tell you how good it is on the road. It is a Honda. From the front, from the side, and from the rear. Honda rarely goes wrong with the design, and the Mobilio is just another example of that. There aren't many, rather any MPVs that can look as good as the Mobilio in the market. Front view reminds you of the Brio and Amaze, but Honda has tweaked the design a little. The bumper design is sportier and the grille is now chunkier. Mobilio comes with halogen headlamps with no LEDs. Fog lamps are also on the V or top grade only. Move to the side and the two lines on the top and the rear of the door add to the styling. The roof of the Mobilio does not slant at the rear, which allows good headspace for third row passengers. And Honda has left no stone unturned with the styling. The rear is as smart and appealing as the front. The tails and the boot door garnish give a neat look to the rear. There's also branding of the grade and engine at the rear. Honda has introduced this whole new golden color in this MPV. There are 5 other colors to choose from. Well, this is a 7-seater, and of course everybody wants to know how much space is there on the third row and how comfortable these seats are. So this is exactly what I'm going to find out. Good thing Honda's done is it's a one-touch seat fold. You don't really have to put in a lot of effort, and the entry into the third row is quite easy. Well, now the third row in the Mobilio is actually comfortable. It does feel a little low, but you know, the seats are reclinable, so you can adjust your seat and make room for yourself. The knee room is good enough, which is going to be an advantage if there's a tall passenger sitting on the third row. The seats of the Mobilio seem low and are quite thin. In fact, there is a clear lack of under-thigh support, though the seats are reclinable. The second row of seats can be moved forward and backward. But this feature is available only on the top or V grade. The second row seats are fixed in the E and S variant. Large windows on the second and third row of seats give the cabin a more airy feel. And now we come to the front seat. The front dash layout is the same as the Brio or Amaze. The color scheme, layout and the feature list is almost as same as any other Honda. But if the cabin disappoints you, this engine puts a big smile on the owner's face. Now the Mobilio diesel is powered with the same 1.5-litre IT Tech engine that Honda has brought in, first with the Amaze, then with the City. So obviously we're all familiar with the engine here. It's the same power output, 100 PS of power and 200 Nm of torque. So the engine has been known for its fuel efficiency. For the record, in the Mobilio, it promises a fuel efficiency of 24.2 kilometers to a litre. The car is nimble, and despite its 4,386 mm of total length, it is very easy to cut and corner in traffic. This is mainly because of a very accurate and well-weighed steering unit on the Mobilio. Another thing about this engine is the drivability of this engine. It's a wonderful engine to drive. You know, you just put it in the third gear and you're going in the city and suddenly you have to brake and your speeds drop. You don't have to really shift a gear. The engine picks up beautifully. That's how drivable this engine is. And when you're on the highway and you really feel like revving the car, then also the engine tends to support you. So this engine has both sides to it. It's fuel efficient, it's good for the city. At the same time, it's wonderful on the highway. Mobilio handles like a pro too. The diesel Mobilio comes with ABS as standard, and that adds to the stability factor. It is big in size, but the confidence that the car portrays on the road is impressive. Third row passengers can also enjoy a good ride in the car without hitting their heads to the roof. Mobilio has a lot of buzz around it in the market. Curious onlookers in the expo, many queries and a long list of people waiting for it to be launched. That's the limelight, but when you hit the real world is when you realize that it isn't smooth sailing after all. Because
the Ertiga has been on the market for a while now, and in that time it's gained a lot in its favor. First of all, it's a Maruti. Second, it's spacious. Third, it's comfortable. And fourth, it's more affordable than the Mobilio. But we're not talking about a mere rupees 20,000 or rupees 30,000 price gap, but a substantial 1.37 lakh rupee difference between the top-end models of these cars. And this is when we haven't even factored in the discounts being offered by Maruti Suzuki.
well, I agree with what Abhishek is saying that the ZDI Ertiga is actually 1,27,000 cheaper than the B grade of the Mobilio, and that is a lot of money. But Honda has this premiumness attached to it, it has this aspirational value attached, and that is why a customer, an Indian car buyer, actually doesn't mind paying that extra sum just to own the brand. That's the advantage that the Mobilio has over the Ertiga.
The Ertiga diesel is powered by the famed 1.3-litre multi-jet diesel engine. In this state of tune, it develops 90 PS of power at 4,000 RPM and 200 Nm of torque at 1,750 RPM.
Now I agree that what Abhishek has in the Ertiga, the 1.3-litre multi-jet engine, is the country's favorite diesel unit. Completely agreed, it's nice, it's punchy, but let me tell you, my engine has more power. It's got 100 PS of power, that's more power than the Ertiga. The torque is the same, but it is at the same time more fuel efficient than the Ertiga. This one promises a fuel economy of 24.2 kilometers to a litre.
While both the Ertiga and the Mobilio offer similar equipment levels, I'll tell you where the Ertiga is the real winner. It's the seats. They offer better cushioning, better under-thigh support for both second row and third row seat occupants. Also, this second row can be slided forward to make more legroom for third row occupants, a feature that is only available in the top-end V-spec Honda Mobilio.
Well, yes, the seats of the Ertiga are better and more comfortable, but what I have here is a boot that can fit the luggage of the family when traveling. The Honda Mobilio has a boot space of 223 litres, whereas the Ertiga is at 135 litres with the third row up. Coming back to the Mobilio, if you drop the third row down, it becomes a flatbed and the boot space capacity increases to 521 litres, which is again more than the Ertiga.
I agree that the Mobilio has more boot space than the Ertiga, but the Ertiga is brand Maruti, and whether you're living in the metros or in a village in the far eastern part of the country, the accessibility is much more. And let's not forget the cost of maintaining an Ertiga is going to be less than that of all of its rivals.
Yes, I agree with the final bit of Abhishek's argument, but I still have the last card, which is the looks. Park the cars together and the design of the Ertiga does seem plain in front of the Mobilio. Mobilio, with its sharp cuts and lines, dynamic profile, is better looking than the Ertiga. Mobilio is 121mm longer than the Ertiga also. But Ertiga at the same time is 12mm wider and 82mm taller than the Mobilio. Not just this, Ertiga is 88mm longer in wheelbase than the Mobilio too. Despite this, the Mobilio looks just as tall and comfortable and roomy as the Ertiga. But before we move further, here's a quick comparison of the features too. The Ertiga and Mobilio are so closely matched that it is actually a tough call to make. But the obstacles for the Mobilio do not end here. Obstacle number 2 is going to make this comparo even more difficult.
Well, I'm not going to bring the Innova into the comparison today just because this vehicle has its own place in the segment. It is a bestseller. It sells like hotcakes. In fact, there's a reason why the Innova is loved by both commercial operators and private buyers. Yes, this is an expensive vehicle, but then again, Honda has the Mobilio RS Diesel, one that sells for almost 11 lakh rupees ex-showroom daily, more or so in the same band as the Innova. And this is the reason we have this one with us in the comparison today.
Toyota Innova. It's the MUV that changed the definition of MUVs in the country. It was first launched in 2005 and got facelifts in 2009, 2012 and 2013. Innova is such a popular vehicle that never was the facelift a major one. It's only in 2013 that Toyota introduced this new design language and played around with the look of it. Innova is a very popular MUV in its segment with both 7-seater and 8-seater options. The versatility of the Innova is what adds to its popularity.
Now, the Innova is a far more expensive MPV as compared to the Mobilio and the Ertiga. In fact, the price difference between the Innova and the other two MPVs is massive. For example, while the base Ertiga is a lot cheaper than the base Mobilio after discounts, the Mobilio itself is 2 lakh rupees cheaper than the Innova. Of course, if you're paying so much more money, you get a far spacious, a far bigger MPV that's more comfortable for your families for those long journeys. Now, one of the strongest points about the Innova is the diesel motor. This 2.5-litre D40 diesel engine is known for its reliable nature. In fact, if you speak to commercial operators, they'll tell you how the Innovas have been running flawlessly for lakhs and lakhs of kilometers, and this could be a peace of mind factor for private buyers.
Well, I know that Bunny's first argument for the Innova is going to be that the Innova offers a bigger engine, but I'm here to put things in a little bit of perspective. Innova does have a bigger 2.5-litre engine, but the Honda Mobilio with a 1.5-litre engine offers as much power. In fact, the Innova only offers 102 PS, which is 2 PS more than what the Mobilio offers. And because of the bigger diesel engine that the Innova has, it has an ARAI tested economy of 12.99 kilometers to a litre, whereas the Mobilio promises 24.2 kilometers to a litre.
Now we're driving the top-end ZX version, and this comes loaded with gadgets and features. You get a touchscreen DVD system over here, there's a climate control system, a comprehensive driver information display system, a rear camera, and of course ABS and airbags are standard as well.
Now this 1.5 ID Tech unit has been carried forward from the Amaze to the City to the Mobilio. It's the same unit, but the good part is that Honda has given it some thought before putting it into the Mobilio. They have worked on the NVH levels. The cabin is much quieter. If you sit inside the Amaze, the first thing that you notice is the amount of noise, the amount of engine noise that filters into the cabin. The Mobilio is far quieter in that term. It's refined. As long as you're not revving the car really, if you're not pushing it all the way to the red line, the engine seems to do a decent job.
The Innova offers you very unique second row as compared to the Ertiga and the Mobilio. It's the only one to offer you captain seats as option in the second row, and trust me, these are supremely comfortable. Of course, you get your own armrest and you can slide the seats and even recline them for comfort. Now, as far as the last row is concerned, I wouldn't want to go there because they can be a tight fit for a person like me. That said, for children and shorter adults, they will find the seats comfortable for shorter journeys, and this comes in spite of the biggest boot in the segment. Worthy of the mention are these air vents which are separate for the last row as well, something missing in the Ertiga and the Mobilio.
The most affordable of the lot, the Ertiga is actually a people mover. Not much in terms of styling or bling, but Maruti has got the price just right and it's given customers everything they want. The only downside here is that the car feels underpowered under full load conditions.
The Innova is actually a hero over here. It's a car that other MPVs aspire to be, and the kind of market share the Innova enjoys, it's a dream thing for other MPVs in the same segment. Now, as far as the Ertiga is concerned, the price difference is so massive that I think there's no competition over here. But with the Mobilio, the RS version is the one that can actually take a slight blow to the Innova sales, but only in terms of the looks. The RS Mobilio is stripped from features. No climate control system, no rear camera or sensors, and no high-end infotainment system. So on the whole, I think the Innova need not worry.
Which brings us to the new kid on the block, the Honda Mobilio, and the new kid is obviously the most attractive one. Yes, Honda has upped the game at many levels, but there are problems. At the price point at which the Mobilio has been launched, Honda has not offered as many features. ABS and airbags are available only on the petrol top variant. The diesel, however, gets ABS as standard. Yes, Honda, the brand, has its charm to itself, which is going to be the saving grace and the phenomenal diesel engine and fuel economy. So that's the Mobilio comparison for you for this week. Hope you liked this video. Do subscribe to our channel. Do join us on Twitter and Facebook as well. Thank you so much for watching.